Hello everyone. Since I had all this footage that I somehow managed to accidentally record while making my drunk driving video, I figured I might as well just make a full video going a little bit in depth about my process behind it. This might sound a little bit rambly, so I'd apologize in advance for that, but let's go ahead and get into it. I knew I wanted to remake this video, but I really didn't have a Tigerstar design in mind. I just kind of made it up as I went along, although I ended up really liking what I just kind of made off the top of my head, so I ended up sticking with that pretty much throughout the entire video. My Scourge design, I also didn't have one for this video, so I made him up on the spot too. For baby Tigerstar, right here in this shot, I really wanted to make sure I got the body proportions correct, so I ended up somewhat tracing a photo, but it didn't work out, and the end product he looks too long, so it didn't work, so live and learn, I guess. Pine Star I didn't have a design for, but I modeled him very closely after Tigerstar, and I think that came out well. Thistleclaw, Dad 2.0, I also didn't have a design. The only thing I knew I wanted was I wanted that bushy, thistle-esque design at the end of his tail. I'm like, gotta have that classic Thistleclaw design. When I was doing this frame specifically, I ended up texting my roommate, like, man, getting really sad thinking about Happy Tigerstar. Leopard Star is another character I didn't have a design for. All I really knew that I wanted to do is I wanted to have her spots kind of fade from black into a light yellow or gold. I made note of it on the screen even. When drawing the back of Tigerstar, and in this shot too, both times, I'm like, I just don't have the energy to sketch out all of the details on it, so I pretty much just like scribbled them in. I also know going in that drawing Bone Mountain would be a huge pain in the ass, so I was not looking forward to that. Yeah, in this scene right here, it's supposed to be Brambleclaw and Lion Paw. I didn't have any designs going in for them. That first sketch that I did of his face, I ended up really liking, but I just couldn't really get it to... I couldn't really position it in the scene in the way that I wanted, so I ended up changing it. This scene with Tigerstar's face and the change of him growling, I really liked both of these, just like off the bat. I thought they were so good, but I ended up having to change his facial expression because it was just too intense. And these two sketches, this is Tigerstar and Firestar fighting. It felt like it took a combined like 2 minutes to draw those, but they are my favorite two poses in the entire video. I love those so much. The very last frame, I knew I wanted to fade from like his eye and whatnot, but I really wasn't sure how to do that, so I really rushed those last two. Inking everything felt like it took forever. Like, it did take me a couple days to go through and line everything. I think I only ended up doing like maybe a couple frames at a time. I do specifically remember when I was inking Scourge here, I had Zootopia on because I was so bored. I'm like, I don't know what to do. I need something on. So I was rewatching the movie. This frame, I hated drawing this so much because it's such a weird, awkward pose. I ended up having to like spin the canvas around a bunch, and even then I was like, I don't know what I'm doing here. I probably should have looked at reference photos, but I ended up just, eyeballing it completely. It's not too terrible in the end. When I ended up inking the baby Tiger Kick frames, I ended up changing it up a lot, or at least it felt like I was changing it up a lot. Pine Star, I had a lot of fun drawing. I really like the design that I came up for him. Thistleclaw, I love his face and his angular nose that I put on there, but I feel like looking back, the angle of his face is weird, and I probably should have redone it, but I really just didn't feel like it. Tigerstar's color scheme, I really didn't know what I wanted to do going in, but I knew I wanted to keep with like a red tone. In the original video, Tigerstar is a more dark ginger tabby, because I really like red Tigerstar designs. I just really like the homage to Pine Star. But what I ended up going with instead, as I kept the classic browns that you usually see on Tigerstar, but I added that orange in, and I think it works really well because it reminds me so much of Scar whenever I look at pictures of him. I think the orange just plays really well into your already like preconceived notions of baddie cat villain character because of Scar. I just think the orange works really well along with those classic tones of brown. Now, Leopard Star, as you will see, I ended up drawing her spots, and then I was like, oh, no, wait a minute, I'm coloring those in. I don't need to draw those, so I ended up deleting them. When I was drawing Tigerstar from the back, I was actually really surprised how easy it was to draw that without messing it up. This scene with Brambleclaw and Lionpaw, I struggled with it for a little bit, but then as I got going, I was really surprised by how good it looked. Although Brambleclaw's foot, like, I could not get. I tried so many times, I'm like... Now, like I said before, these two faces of Tigerstar, one of my favorite things. I think they're so expressive. I was really proud of myself for getting those done. But I realized that the second frame was just too expressive. It changed too much from the first one, and it didn't look nice in the video, so I had to go back and just a little bit more muted a little bit so it's closer to the original. This scene with them fighting, like inking them, was probably the easiest out of all of them. I was so pleased with how they came out. Although Firestar specifically, I realized as I was editing the video, I didn't draw his other foot, so I had to go back in after he was colored and give him a second foot. At the end, the eye that I ended up drawing really quick, I ended up just scrapping that completely, as you can kind of tell in the video. And then I got the pleasure of going back in and coloring everything. I made Tigerstar's color design in the middle of inking because I was bored and I really wanted to flesh that out first. The Scourge design, which I colored off the top of my head, was also really fun. I really like dark blue Scourge designs, especially with red accents. Gives that real emo flavor. I love it. Baby Tigerstar, when I colored him, I made his design a slightly more simple for his tiny body. But I believe in the Apprentice version, I ended up going back to the regular. Thistleclaw's color scheme I actually took from my roommate's reference, who helped me make this video. I'll put it on, I'll make sure, or at least I'll try to remember to put it on the screen. But I really like the color, but I also really like the more classic wiki version of Thistleclaw, where he has the white on his face. I didn't want to give him a solid white face, so I went for more of like that diagonal slash approach. I feel like it mimics a nice Scar aesthetic. Coloring in Leopard Star, I really struggled with the spots. I think they're just too brown looking at them. But I mean, next time I should be able to fix it so it looks better. Bone Hill, I really didn't want to tackle coloring on the bone, so I skipped it. And I'm like, I'm going to color more Tigerstar. I like him. I like how his face looks. Actually, if you notice, the color of Tigerstar's eyes throughout the video are orange, but they have that dark reddish orange shading on them. In the original video, someone commented that Tigerstar looks drunk. My roommate suggested that I actually kind of lean into that and give him red eyes. I didn't go full red, but I really like the aesthetic of having the dark red on the gold. I think it looks really well. It's a color that I've used for Tigerstar in the past, so I think it turned out pretty good. All the backgrounds I did, I decided to make them gray, so the colors of the characters stand out more. I'm not good at backgrounds at all. I struggled a lot with some of them, but I think they turned out well enough for what I needed them for. I think it does give the video a much more dramatic presence, but all in all, I think it turned out okay. I think doing colored backgrounds would have just taken way too much time. Now this video is my roommate, Dandelion Lynx. I was getting so burnt out. I was like, can you help me color these? And he said, sure. So Tigerstar's design is actually his design for Tigerstar. I just really like it, so I do end up using it a lot. I asked him if he could, design Brambleclaw and Lionpaw, because I didn't have designs for him. I usually like what he comes up with. What he ended up doing is he modeled Brambleclaw more after Golden Flower, and I do really like that. But he still got all the stripes, so he does have the obvious connection to Tigerstar. I really like all the blood that he added. It's such a good color, and he just is better at doing blood than me. I don't know. I guess he just has more practice, but I don't know. But he does a really good job. He even added a little bit more of Tigerstar's scar on his belly, so it just looks more natural. At the end, I wanted Firestar to kind of be reflecting in Tigerstar's eyes as he died, and so he pretty much did that from scratch. But since I didn't have a sketch or anything for him to go on, the Firestar in the eye is entirely his art style, so it is somewhat obvious that I didn't draw it, but I still think it looks really good. Now I'll show you the different kind of phases the video went through. I saved every time I ended up finishing a stage after I did line art, whatnot. So I'll play it a couple times so you can see all of the differences.
The Michael Jordan of drunk driving played his final game tonight. And burdened by his loneliness, he wanted to feel alive. His laziness built the pyramids, and his solitude was a knife. The Michael Jordan of drunk driving played his final game tonight. The Michael Jordan of drunk driving played his final game tonight. And burdened by his loneliness, he wanted to feel alive. His laziness built the pyramids, and his solitude was a knife. The Michael Jordan of drunk driving played his final game tonight.
Alrighty, thank you guys for watching. I don't know if I'll ever make a video like this again. If you like it, I can. If you want me to make a video kind of showing how I edit videos, I can also do that. If you have any ideas for videos, I'll be happy to take those into consideration. But other than that, I hope you guys have a good day, and I'll see you in the next video.